and I woke up the next morning and I had $100,000. I had $1 million the day before. They stole 90% of all the currency from everybody in the country overnight on a fax.
Wow, this is massive. What happened to Michael Saylor is coming to the United States, and you need to be ready. America is on the fast lane to bankruptcy, and in this video, we need to talk about what's happening with the outstanding debt. What does this mean for the cryptocurrency market and the current cycle top and bottom predictions? How high will this cause Bitcoin to go? And then how low will Bitcoin go during the next bear market? The real key to escaping your 9-to-5 job to be able to do what you want, when you want, 24/7, 365 days a year. The truth about the recent donations that have been taking place from Chris Larsen to Kamala Harris and the rest of Ripple's executive team. What a private equity firm is getting ready to launch on the XRP ledger that is massive. We're talking about the XRP to the Bitcoin price chart and the most likely scenario to happen next. XRP to the US dollar price chart. What just recently happened to Casper Labs and the CSPR token. Their transition into a new artificial intelligence project. What that has to do with HBAR and HBAR to the US dollar price chart that you need to pay attention to by the end of this video. And also, if you guys watch this video all the way through, I'm going to show you some data that I see happening on other blockchains and some low cap altcoins that are underneath $10 million in market cap that I'm keeping on my watch list this entire bull run. And then I'll share with you exactly how to be able to find these low cap altcoins yourself so you can be able to do your own research to find that next 100x gem. So if you guys are feeling bullish, comment 777. If you're feeling blessed, comment 777. And as always, if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by tapping the like button, tapping the subscribe button. Let's run it.
I had $1 million in a bank in Argentina 20 years ago. It was in US dollars. The peso was 1 to the dollar. The Argentine government sent a memo to the banks, forcibly converted everybody's dollars to pesos, and then forcibly devalued the peso 10 for 1. And I woke up the next morning and I had $100,000. I had $1 million the day before. They stole 90% of all the currency from everybody in the country overnight on a fax, without a law, without an army. Now, how hard would it be to take all of the property or of everybody in the country with Bitcoin? You have to go arrest 60 million people, sweat them all in a jail for 90 days. How do you arrest 60 million people and sweat them in jail for 90 days? It's like 1 billion times harder.
All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So a lot of people don't realize this, but what happened to him over in Argentina is not too far off from what could happen in the United States, but it's happening on a slower scale because of what they're doing with monetary print orders and unlimited spending and donating taxpayer dollars over to Ukraine. And the dollar, is like a slow bleeding wound that just never heals. And so if you just keep your money in a bank account, it's very obvious. You understand this, that in a matter of an instant, it's not just going to go to zero, although, hey, anything's possible, but slowly but surely, day by day, it loses its spending power because the U.S. national debt has increased by $473 billion over the last 3 weeks. It now stands at $35.8 trillion. And the debt is projected to be over $50 trillion by 2030, probably even sooner than that. That's $103,000 of debt for every American. It's very unsustainable. And not only that, America is already bankrupt and they're just keeping the show going like a WWE match that the fans think is real, but it's not really real because those at the top in the ring of the financial sector are in on it. When we look at the current cycle top and predictions on what this will cause for the crypto market, and you guys see gold breaking out to new all-time high, silver's still suppressed, obviously. The real estate market has been inflated. Stocks are making a new all-time high. This is because of the devaluation of the dollar. And so in the crypto market, with Bitcoin consolidating and attempting to break out, we saw over the past 24 to 48 hours, Bitcoin pulling back within the $65,000 region. It got to like 69, almost 70K. And now it's experiencing a little pullback, but it's still in an uptrend. With the current cycle top and bottom predictions, by April through June of 2025, the price is projected to be between $210,000 to $250,000. The cycle bottom, by fall of 2026 to spring of 2027, the price is expected to be between $70,000 to $85,000 according to Leo Hart right here. Now, when we look at the Bitcoin rainbow price chart indicator, based on data like this and other things that I've shown you guys over the past few years, we're far from the top, because if we were to zoom in right now and we look at, from is this a bubble territory to fire sale right here and then maximum bubble territory, we can see right now where we are on the price chart is we are literally in the buy zone, one step up from fire sale. You know, fire sale is like $53,000 to $40,000 as we just consolidate sideways. And so the longer that we consolidate sideways, we've seen this happen past bull runs prior to this. And I told you guys to expect something like this to take place where we just bobble around between buy and fire sale for an extended period of time until the bull run really starts kicking off. As you guys can see, the bull run really started kicking off back in April of 2017 when Bitcoin went from $1,300, which is in the buy zone, up to the hodl zone, consolidated, broke all the way out into, is this a bubble? Consolidated, then broke out all the way out into FOMO intensifying, then eventually overextended the maximum bubble territory for the bull market top almost near $20,000. So the real key to understand on when's the best time to sell in the crypto market is when we are in, is this a bubble to maximum territory? So like light orange to red. The worst time to sell is when we are down here in the fire sale, the buy, or the accumulate zone, because you're either selling too early or you're letting the long-term consolidation periods of boredom shake you out, because then you think the markets have to go down because of the extended length of 200 plus days of consolidation that we've been in. So as you can see here from the bear market bottom, I was making videos all the way back here around $19,000 and then all the way down to $16,000 right here. When I was buying Bitcoin was around 16,700 right here. Cause I made a video, I talked about how we're even below the fire sale. And I think I said, what is that? A Titanic sale? Because like we're all the way at the bottom of the ocean there, you know, to go lower than this is very improbable. So I was pouring the majority of my money into Bitcoin and then eventually altcoins as Bitcoin was making the run up. I've still done very, very well this bull run, and we're going to continue to do well by educating you guys every single day on what we're seeing in the market. So what we're seeing right now on the charts, not my opinion here, but we are still in the buy zone. And so we got all the way up here into accumulate, but we didn't even make it to the hodl zone in yellow. And so even if we extend further in the buy zone going into the end of this year, that just gives you more time to accumulate. Because if you've been in doubt on what's going to happen with the crypto market since March of 2024, you know, Bitcoin's just gone sideways and down since $71,000. But when we are in doubt, what do? We zoom out, we get a much more macro view. Look at where the maximum bubble territory price is right here. It's over $700,000. Now, does that mean that Bitcoin's gonna get all the way up here? No, it definitely doesn't, because last bull run, Bitcoin didn't breach into the maximum bubble territory. It stopped short of the FOMO intensifying in the dark orange right here. It didn't quite make it to sell, seriously sell, or the red maximum bubble territory. And so taking profits anywhere between hodl and sell, seriously sell is always smart, but taking profits around the buy zone only makes sense if you found some low cap stuff that is up like 3, 5x, 10x or more. And then just rotating your profits into the stuff that has yet to run. And we're going to share a lot of that stuff with you guys on bullrunners.com when you subscribe to our video newsletter and you get on the early bird list for the launch of our crypto education platform to join our inner circle. We'll give you exclusive altcoin picks, market analysis. That way you can take your knowledge in your portfolio to the next level to become a crypto millionaire this bull run. Although I make no guarantees because I'm not a financial advisor, you should always consult your financial advisor. These videos are purely for education, informational purposes only, because crypto is risky. You can lose money in these markets if you try and do everything yourself. But if you surround yourself with people who have been there, done that, you can fast track your success. If you're sitting in 9 to 5 right now, knowing that you're never going to break free financially, that's what makes working 24/7 on your dreams worth every second, knowing that at some point you will see success simply because of probabilities. Putting 24/7 into your craft will yield virtually 100% probability of success, just as long as you don't quit or you don't die before the probability unfolds, because success is simply math mixed with God's timing. So if, for example, if you go to the gym every day, your entire life, and you eat healthy, the probability of you getting in amazing shape is virtually 100%. As long as you actually put in the work, you do the right exercises, and you don't just sit in the gym doing nothing and then go home and eat fast food. The reason why most people who say they put in 24/7, they're putting in the effort and they don't achieve success is because they're not focusing their energy on the right financial exercises that actually make money. They're scrolling on social media, off of work. They're just clicking around, letting their ADHD take control of their life. That's not putting in the work. Or they don't understand universal laws and appreciate the lag time through law of attraction and through manifestation that their spiritual desires take to manifest into the physical world, even when they're working, because it just hasn't happened yet. Because when you actually put in the work on the right financial habits, the lag time is the universe chipping away at the physical reality to bring about the end result into something you can actually physically see and hold in your hands. Like that might be the car, that might be the house, that might be the condo of your dreams, that might be the vacations. And just because you don't have it yet doesn't mean your efforts aren't working. The universe just needs time to catch up to your frequency and action, since matter takes time to form. Like if you plant a seed in the ground, if you water it every day and after 5 days nothing's growing, it doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means the roots are growing first. So in the spirit realm, that's where the roots are growing for the skills that you're putting your energy into developing. When you build the roots, it's like a bamboo plant. You don't know how long it's going to take to sprout a plant that will yield you the fruit, which is the money or the physical reality. You just know that the roots in the spirit world are growing. It's the lazy people who justify their lack of effort for why, the skill that they're working on within any industry doesn't work for them. When it's not the actual industry, that could be real estate, that could be trading, that could be health and nutrition, it could be anything. It's not the industry, it's you who needs to work. So all you got to do for success, to virtually guarantee your success, is fix your mindset, fix your work ethic, and you will fix your life. In virtually every industry, there's successful people at the top. It's because those people put in the work to become successful. The reason why 9 to 5 has very low odds of becoming a millionaire, virtually none. Like how many people do you guys know that work a 9 to 5 that are a millionaire because of their 9 to 5? No, they're a millionaire because of other stuff, through like investing or through their own business. No matter how hard you work, is because someone else puts a cap on your income when you work for somebody else. That's like putting a shark in a fish tank. You will only grow as large as the tank. So by doing what you want to do, whether that be trading like 24/7, that has no cap on your income, then you're basically being put into the ocean to grow your portfolio as large as you want. So if you guys want to learn the skills that will increase your probability of success, and you actually have the work ethic, then go to bullrunners.com, join the early bird list, and you guys are going to absolutely love what you learn when we launch. Now, for all the ladies out there that think they know what men want when they're on their phones 24/7, or they're working 24/7, or they're not giving you the time that you deserve or the time that you want, this is what men really want. And this is why we work 24/7, because if you want a man that has a lot of options, a lot of resources, a lot of money to fly you around the world, take you on vacations whenever you want, you're going to have to be okay with him working 24/7 to be able to pay for all of it. If you want a man that just stays around you all the time, watches Netflix 24/7, can hang out with you 24/7, and isn't obsessed with work, then you're either going to find a broke bum or a sugar daddy that's like 80 years old and retired. So you're going to have to choose. Unfortunately, a lot of women go for the sugar daddy because they get frustrated when there's a guy that's around the same age as them that works extremely hard to provide. And for all the guys out there, I'm not here to give you life advice or relationship advice, but one thing I've realized, that you lose money chasing after women, but you never lose women running after money. And what's even better is when you get money to run after you, developing the right skills. CNBC, on Ripple's donations within this election cycle, Chris Larsen has donated like $10 million to Kamala Harris. And this makes people so frustrated and pissed off if they don't like Kamala. They're like, I'm not going to support Ripple. But Brad Garlinghouse has donated to John Deaton. Stuart Alderati has donated, I can never say his last name. How do you guys even pronounce that? Alderati? I think that's how you say it. Let me know if I'm right on that. I can barely speak English and spell sometimes, but he's donated to Donald Trump. And so Brad Garlinghouse posted this saying, I respect Chris and everyone's right to support whomever they think is best to lead the US. We need to immediately change course from the administration's misguided war on crypto. Ripple will continue to engage with both Democrats and Republicans in the final days of the campaigns and after the election to promote pro-crypto policies. It's not about party lines. It's about championing policies that drive blockchain and crypto innovation. And so when you play chess, you got to know how to play both sides. So this is just simply a power move, which I just think is extremely smart, because when you diversify in a portfolio, then that's how you preserve your wealth. But when you diversify in terms of your political donations, then that's also how you protect yourself no matter who gets elected. Because imagine if they just went all in on one party and that party lost, and then the other party got no donations from them, they wouldn't favor them. Now, you guys obviously know who I support, and I'm not here to talk about politics, but because we are in an election year, and quite arguably, this is the most important election of America's history, it's important you know what's actually going on.
Your co-founder, Chris Larsen, has given a lot of money to the Harris campaign. You had just told us a little bit ago that you are fiercely independent. And so when you think about the differences in the candidates and how they might approach crypto, what do you really know, particularly because the Harris campaign has been far more vague?
Well, I think there's one thing I feel very confident about, and that is the Biden administration's approach to regulation of the crypto industry. That is coming to an end for sure. And I think no matter where this plays out at the presidential level, we'll have a more constructive engagement with this industry. It's a critical industry, it's an innovative technology, and I think the United States should be at the forefront and leading, as we did with the Internet of Information. I think we'll get there. As I said yesterday at the Philadelphia Federal Reserve, I think Gary Gensler's reign of terror on the crypto industry is going to come to an end very soon.
Brad, in your view, does it matter if Kamala Harris is president come January 20th or Donald Trump is president come January 20th? What's better for you? What's better for Ripple?
Well, I've taken a very neutral point of view. For the crypto industry, I think it's clear that the Republicans at a macro level have been more proactive in saying this is an industry that needs clear regulation. You have seen a Republican-led bill in the House pass with 71 or 72 Democrats crossing the aisle to support that in a very bipartisan way. So I think we have seen a more Republican-centric but I also think you've seen indications that the Harris campaign wants to reset some of the very flawed approaches that the Biden administration has had with the crypto industry and other parts of technology. So what I'm optimistic about is we're going to see a change. We're going to see a reset. And I think we need that at the federal level. The United States, there's no question, the United States is behind other leading countries like the UK, like Switzerland, like Singapore, like Japan, that are way ahead in providing constructive and clear regulation and rules of the road for this industry.
Now, for the people out there that see Chris Larsen's donated $10 million, well, if you just do a quick Google search about his net worth, obviously Google's net worth is not accurate. It's most likely higher than this because he's probably got a lot of money and other stuff that people just don't know about, because why would they let you know about all the money they have in offshore banks and all that stuff? But $3.1 billion. So if we just take $10 million and divide that by 3 billion, that's 0.00333% of his net worth. That's literally 30% of 1%. So less than a fraction of 1% of his net worth he's donated. That's just a small drop in the bucket. To put that into perspective for you, if your net worth is $100,000, that's like donating $333 for you. That's just basically like a decent, nice dinner out here in Miami, Florida for two. So this is definitely not breaking the bank here for him. This is a strategy play so Ripple gets what they want. Now, do I agree with his decision? No. Now, if Chris actually personally supports her and her policies and it's not a strategy move, then I think he's got a screw loose in his head. But nonetheless, Ripple continues to make power moves because this just in, a private equity firm is launching a $1 billion tokenized fund on the XRP ledger. And Aurum Equity Partners stated it's launching this tokenized equity and debt fund on the XRP ledger network, an enterprise-focused blockchain closely associated with Ripple, focusing on investments in data centers across the US, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, India, and Europe. It is claimed to be the world's first combined equity and debt tokenized fund. And Ripple is also waiting on approval from a New York state regulator to launch its US dollar stablecoin, which is expected to enhance liquidity and support institutions in tokenizing and settling financial assets on the XRP Ledger network, where David Schwartz said tokenizing private equity is another emerging use case in real-world assets, tackling the challenges of illiquidity and limited access in these markets. And the real-world asset market over the next few years is expected to grow over like 10 or 13 trillion dollars. So it's going to be massive. The only thing that frustrates people, like I just mentioned at the beginning of this video, is the time that this takes to show in the physical reality, specifically on the charts. And I drew this up. This was all the way back in like the beginning of October or late September about what I expected to happen on the chart for the XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, based on what happened in the past and stacking up Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator. For example, when we went from orange to yellow, we saw this little rally up and then a final sell-off for XRP in comparison to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was outperforming XRP during this period. And then for the entire phase of yellow, we saw XRP drastically outperform Bitcoin after the first few candles. Remember, we're on the weekly right here. So this is after like 28 days. back here in 2017 from orange to yellow where Bitcoin outperformed XRP. Now let's go back to the last bull run. We saw the exact same thing happen. Right before we went from orange to yellow, we saw this rally up, and then for roughly about 35 days, let me see here, let me measure this again. Yeah, about 35 days, Bitcoin outperformed XRP, and then during the entire phase of yellow, XRP outperformed Bitcoin for the rest of that. So roughly a month to like 45 days, we see XRP underperform Bitcoin when we shift from orange to yellow the last 2 bull runs. And so if we just look at history and weigh probabilities here, the likelihood of that happening again is very, very high. And sure enough, what are we seeing? Well, from orange to yellow, we saw this rally up. And now that we shifted to yellow, we're seeing the sell-off. We're 28 days in. And so, hey, I don't know how long XRP is going to underperform in comparison to Bitcoin, but eventually, just based on probabilities, not based on my opinion, this will shift and we will see during the entire yellow phase right here, based on Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator, XRP will eventually outperform Bitcoin because we've been in a downtrend for so long. My opinion, just based on technical analysis right here, the likelihood of us coming back up right here to retest this descending resistance for XRP is pretty high. Now for us to break it, we don't know if that's going to happen. That's really if, Ripple finally gets through this whole appeal in the lawsuit. If that happens before this bull run's over, if it doesn't, then hey, XRP might not really truly experience its full potential until the next bull run by 2030. That doesn't mean that XRP will do bad by any means, because last bull run, XRP still did like a 10 to a 15x while they were going through the lawsuit with no clarity. This time around, XRP actually has the clarity. It's not a security, and no amount of appeals can change that. It's just literally SEC wanting more money from Ripple. So this appeal is completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's just that some investors are still skeptical. They don't want to put money into the market until they get clarity on what's going to happen next for Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoin market leading into election. So that brings me to the XRP to the US dollar price chart. Well, it's all also on top of the Fed cutting interest rates and the inverted yield curve inversion and the unemployment rate and lots of different stuff we'll talk about in other videos. But based on key indicators, like I talked about in my last video, the stochastic RSI on the weekly is still in a downtrend. You can see the D line is at 26, the K line is at 4, and we saw a bearish cross take place all the way up here, at 80, and it bobbled around for a while XRP was just consolidating within this range, chopping sideways. But now that we confirmed a bearish cross, the likelihood of XRP coming back down to back test all the way down here at like 43 cents is actually pretty high. So even though I'm bullish on XRP long term, I think XRP will do something like this over the next few weeks while Bitcoin outperforms, because as you can see, we're forming lower highs ever since the 10th of July. So we're pretty much in a momentum shift over from bullish price action to bearish. So what we look for is bullish crosses below 20 on the stochastic RSI, and we're not there yet. So I'm being patient for XRP right now. I'm not accumulating more. I'm going to be watching to see if XRP breaks down as expected, and then I probably am going to be entering in. I'm going to sell my condo, and I'm going to probably put all or at least the majority into XRP and other altcoins to be able to ride the rest of this bull run when XRP finally does break out and starts making higher highs. A lot of people wonder what are some other projects to keep on their watch list, because you guys saw what happened with Casper Labs being in this massive downtrend. People are like, should I buy Casper right now? What's happening with this project? Just because a project is in a downtrend doesn't mean it's always going to bottom out and then eventually reverse from here because of what happens with the underlying company. And so why is this project all the way down below a penny? Well, they posted just recently saying that they are completely shifting over to Prove AI. And this is Casper Labs' innovative AI governance project, taking a look at the journey on the road to Prove AI, where we highlight our innovative approach to creating secure, transparent AI systems for enterprise. I'm not going to play this whole video. You guys can go check this out by going to the Casper Labs Twitter. But essentially what happened here, they were absorbed by Hedera or HBAR. So Prove AI will build its flagship AI governance platform exclusively on Hedera. So a lot of people in the Casper Labs community is extremely frustrated because they're holding the token. And I think I made a video about it a while back. I ended up getting rid of that a while ago, like months ago, because it failed to make a new high. So it was still in a downtrend around this phase right here. And so I wait for trend reversals and clearing of previous highs to hold this support. So I would have been entering in if something like this happened, because that's a sign that we were going to break higher. But because it didn't happen and we were rejected, forming a a lower high right here on the 24th of April, a lower high right here on the 1st of January, a lower high right here on the 11th of March. To buy lower highs is the stupidest thing you could do in trading. You wait for a break, a close, and a hold above these highs like this for good entry points. And sure, you're buying a little bit higher, let's say for example like 0.005 rather than buying down here at 0.003. But if you buy down here at 0.003, you would still be holding at 0.005, and then you would just watch your income come all the way back to where you entered in at, and then you'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna hold, I'm still at a break even, and then you just watch your portfolio slowly bleed out to the downside. So that's why people that have still been holding Casper are super frustrated, and it's bullish news for HBAR long term. But even HBAR, when we look at HBAR right here, HBAR has been in a downtrend since April of 2024. The real resistance that HBAR needs to clear in order for me to even consider, wanting to long this project is roughly around 0.0625 all the way up to 0.067, even like 7 cents right here, because as you can see, this zone was resistance all the way back here on the 19th of August. When it finally flipped it, guess what happened? It came back down, it held it as support right here around the beginning of February. It broke out to pass the previous high of the 11th of February, and so that was really good news. But you guys know that trading is not definite. Just because something happens doesn't mean it's going to continue to happen. We're going to continue to break out because HBAR has been through some problems. It broke down and it broke below the 10-cent support all the way right here to backtest the previous support by the 14th of April, and then it formed another high, and then it continued the downtrend right here. And as you guys can see, HBAR came all the way back down to the support of the 12th of August and bounced off of it. And so now we're within this range of roughly 6-7 cents to 4 cents right here. And so what I would want to see happen, otherwise the downtrend is just going to continue and HBAR is going to struggle to break out and just slowly bleed out like this to bottom out, is I want to see it break this resistance zone right here and hold it as support at roughly 6 to 7 cents to see a trend reversal. Otherwise, what this would look like is HBAR bottoming out, coming back up to backtest this, kind of lagging until the later stage of this bull run in 2025, and then breaking out. And if that's the case, then HBAR would just take a little bit longer to do something alongside XRP or XLM. But if we look on the weekly MACD, we can see that the MACD line in blue is below the signal line, and we are below zero. We've also seen a momentum shift on the histogram as well too, from bearish over to bullish, and we're right now at zero. So this is actually a good sign that a potential bullish cross could be forming, and we are below zero. So the further below zero, the stronger the signal. But usually when a bullish cross forms, it's a precursor to a trend reversal. But as you can see right here on the 25th of July, we saw a bullish cross well below zero at negative 0.05 all the way down here, but the price was right here rallying up, and then it continued the downtrend while momentum was changing on the MACD. So to be entering into a trade or to be buying something on a bullish cross is not the smartest move, because as you can see right here, if you were buying at 7 cents, well, the downtrend continued all the way down to 3 cents. This is why we stack other indicators together and we look for confluence on multiple indicators. For example, around the same time on the weekly stochastic RSI, we actually saw a bullish cross. And so the issue was there was so much selling pressure right here because we are in a bear market as well too. That's why when in doubt, zoom out, we were still in a bear market on the macro market cycle. And so a lot of the times just looking at an indicator like this and be like, okay, I'm going to buy right here because the bear market bottom is in, but there's still so much selling pressure for Bitcoin and the rest of the markets that even with a bullish cross and a trend reversal to the upside, you guys can see the price didn't even rally that far to 8 cents before continuing all the way to the bear market bottom. Then we saw a bearish cross and the stochastic RSI come all the way back down, not quite below 20, but it was at 24 where another bullish cross took place. And then that was the bottom while the MACD was in an uptrend. So that's a better entry point right there because of the divergence that was taking place on the price chart with lower highs, lower lows, but yet the MACD was in an uptrend. So I don't claim to be the best trader in the world here. I really base my investing on fundamental news long term. I'm more of a long-term investor, but we're seeing some mixed signals right here on the MACD versus the stochastic RSI. For example, we're seeing a potential bullish cross below zero taking place, but we just witnessed a bearish cross on the stochastic RSI, meaning that in my opinion, it's going to take a little bit longer for HBAR to break out as more momentum flows into Bitcoin and Bitcoin outperforms altcoins. That also leads me back to the XRP to the Bitcoin price chart and what has happened every single bull run. So if Bitcoin is outperforming XRP, then Bitcoin would be outperforming the majority of other large cap projects like HBAR or XLM or Algorand. So until Bitcoin's dominance tops out and rolls around, Bitcoin's just going to continue to march up higher. We're in a rising wedge pattern right here where Bitcoin continuously forms higher lows and higher highs, but it's coiling up into a wedge. And usually what happens here is we see some type of blow off top on Bitcoin's dominance. And this would be Bitcoin rallying up and breaking out first and going upwards of like 80, 90, $100,000. And then Bitcoin's dominance could come upwards of 60%, top up. We see a sell-off, a quick rotation into alts, another like blow-off top for Bitcoin forming a lower high in the dominance, then inevitably a breakdown closer to 40% as we see alt season take place sometime in 2025. So there's still time to accumulate. The best time to accumulate is literally at the top of Bitcoin's dominance when all that money starts to rotate into altcoins. So what we're watching here is on-chain data in terms of total value locked on these other blockchains, because there's roughly $88 billion on all these different protocols. You got like Aave, Lido, EigenLayer, Maker, Uniswap, where people lock up their crypto to earn interest in yield in some of the top chains. You know, obviously Ethereum is one of the main one, but it's been lagging behind, and Ethereum really hasn't had to stay in the sun. In my opinion, I don't really hold that much Ethereum just because the market cap is so large. I don't think there's going to be that many multiples. It's kind of like holding Bitcoin. You'll get like a nice little 2 to 3x out of it, but you're not getting a 10x or 20x out of Bitcoin. And so this is where we look at other chains. For example, you know, one of the most popular ones is Solana as it continuously forms an uptrend. I think Solana is going to do well, but I think a chain that's going to do even better than Solana is something like Sui. If you guys look at Sui's total value locked, it's sitting at $1 billion. You know, you see Navi Protocol and Cetus are the top two protocol platforms that have the most amount of money staked at 200 million, then 315 million. And Sui's cooling off for a little bit as it did form a new high in terms of total value locked, and the price is consolidating really at the all-time high. The brother project to Sui that was created from like this team split at Facebook and Meta is Aptos. Aptos total value locked is at 849 million. If you just look at the chart, this is a good sign because it broke the previous high from March of earlier this year of 500 million. And so I'm going to keep Aptos on my watch list. Also, another chain that is an OG chain, we saw the CEO of Binance get out of jail, is the Binance Smart Chain. It's at $4 billion. And as you can see right here, it's, in my opinion, the depression stage. And I think the Binance Smart Chain is going to make a resurgence here soon. And when that happens, I think people are going to be looking for a lot of low market cap meme coin projects that have that potential to run that are underneath $100 million. So for example, one project that added to my watch list, I also did accumulate a little bit of this project. So quick disclaimer, that doesn't mean that you guys should buy this, but I just believe in sharing with you what I think has potential to run. It's Koma Inu. It's sitting at $3.8 million market cap. Now, this project right here is obviously still in a downtrend. We do need to see a trend reversal above 0.005, which is resistance all the way up here. Otherwise, this project is just going to continue selling off to find a bottom, flat line, and then see a revival pattern take place where we see a disbelief rally to break previous resistances, hold as support, and then a potential continuation of a trend reversal. A trend reversal takes place when we break a previous structure high, which would be resistance, and we hold it as support. And so if we see that happen for something like Koma Inu at a $3.8 million market cap sitting on the Binance Smart Chain, the only way, in my opinion, that would take place is if we see a revival in the Binance Smart Chain total value lock. So be watching this chart right here on DeFi Llama because we've been consolidating for a period of time. If the Binance Smart Chain starts to break out and breaks above $6 billion and holds that as support, then a lot of money from other chains like Ethereum, Solana, they're watching the Binance Smart Chain. Virtually everyone in crypto knows about the Binance Smart Chain. And a lot of that liquidity would be flowing into meme coins on Binance. So we want to stay ahead of the curve here. And that's why I'm keeping meme coins like Koma Inu on my watch list. Now, there's tons of other projects I have on my watch list. For example, on the Sui chain, you know, I'm watching Suinami as well too, because the branding, the whole dog meta in terms of meme coins just does very, very well. The market cap is really low at 1.6 million. It's trading within this range right here between resistance of 0.0003 and support of 0.00009 all the way up to like 0.0001. So we're most likely going to chop within this range back down to support. If we can hold this support and then see a trend reversal to the upside, we need to break this resistance, hold it as support to see a trend reversal. So again, guys, don't just go and ape into these projects because I'm talking about them on video. These are extremely risky and you probably could lose money in these because they're still in a downtrend. So don't buy them, don't sell them. Just watch this video for educational purposes only. In fact, if you guys want the full deck screener tutorial on how to find the next 1000x meme coin, whether it be on Sui's blockchain, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Aptos, C, the base blockchain, then I'll leave a link in the description below. I posted this video about 7 days ago, has about 10,000 views. It's 45 minutes long, so I go in depth on this information. If you guys want to learn it, check that out in the description below. Also, if you watch this video to this point and you are not subscribed to our list on bullrunners.com to get on the early bird list for the launch of our crypto education platform to join our inner circle, do that right now. Just click the link below or type in bullrunners.com. You can see the domain in the upper left. Click the button on the page that says yes, reserve my spot on the list. Put in your best email address. You'll be instantly subscribed to our daily video newsletter to receive value-based videos like this. You'll get immediate access to our Telegram group with over 12,000 members, and you'll be notified first when we launch. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I will see you on the next one. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.